Hello and welcome once again to the show that fuels your appetite for adrenaline and alternative sports. Coming up, we've got reports from the final 2 stops of the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Tour from the UK and Thailand. Then we take you to Peru for our first of 2 reports from the latest stage of the ISSF World Cup in shotgun. All of that to come, but first we take you to the picturesque Namibia for a running race that pushes the athletes to their extreme over a beautiful but difficult terrain.
Namibia's Fish River Canyon is the second largest in the world. It's a stark, rugged, magnificently desolate and harshly unforgiving place where the human body probably doesn't belong and is ultimately tested. This is the scene of the 3rd Windhoek Lager Fish River Canyon Ultramarathon Trail Challenge.
Here we go.
There's a 100-kilometer slog or the so-called light race which only measures 65 k's. Here's organizer Tinus Hansen.
The event is held here in the Fish River Canyon in the southern part of Namibia. It's widely regarded as the 2nd biggest and deepest canyon in the world. Yeah, so a truly unique but also very harsh location to have a ultra event. The nice thing about the Fish River is it gives every sort of range of terrain, to run in, from beach sand to boulder crossings to technical uphills and downhills. So yeah, basically what you can think of in terms of trail running, it's provided for in the Fish River Canyon.
This threatening, harsh moonscape demands everything from competitors, not to mention the ever-obliging organizers. The registration and start area camp on top of the canyon had to be built from scratch, and there was an air of certain apprehension, fear and a pervasive excitement as runners from far and wide arrived to register, receive their packs and then prepared to do battle with nature and all her fickle elements. This one probably demands more mental preparation than most. Day quickly turns to night in the desert. The unforgiving rays make way for plummeting temperatures and a lunar appearance that would not be out of place in a sci-fi movie. As race briefings go, they're often just a chat session for old buddies to catch up while the organizer prattles on. This one demands attention, complete attention. One misstep and all could be lost.
One of the nice attractions of the event is the logistics side. In terms of the people that participate, we build our first race village the first night right on top of the canyon. It's basically on the canyon's edge, so the views and that are spectacular. People are very seldom afforded that privilege to actually spend the night there. So we provide all the amenities there. We put up a tent. We've got we cater all 3-course meals and anything that people want is on hand. And then they run through to ice, and once again we provide a race village there. And again, all the sort of needs are catered for.
The route takes the athletes from the south of the Sulphur Springs and travels north into the valley. From there, they follow the river bends until a large Windhoek Lager inflatable at the finish line says, "You can stop now." The cool Namibian air greeted 25 intrepid ultra-trail runners as they nervously counted down the last minutes before the start at 6.
It's one of the bucket list things that I've always wanted to do, and do an ultra marathon in various parts of the world. And yeah, this is one of those. I'm glad to be able to take it off after today, but we'll see. Come 6 o'clock tonight, hopefully I'm in.
It's been a while since I've been here, but I think because it's there, I think it's because it's a challenge, because it's a run. It's like who usually gets to run a 5-day hiking trail in one day.
2, 1, get going!
The 100-kilometer runners slowly shuffled out. Self-doubt, thoughts of missed training days and runs that were too short are quickly forgotten as they make their way to the entry point of the canyon, 12 k's away. At the start of any ultra, or quite frankly any marathon, the athlete wonders if they did it all right. Did I do enough hill repeats? Is that niggly calf going to hold up? Will my nutrition plan work out today? Did I pack that energy bar I love so much? Will I last out the day? The Fish River Canyon lies in the south of Namibia and is the largest on the African continent. It's one of the most popular tourist attractions in the country and features a gigantic ravine, 160 kilometers long and up to 27 kilometers wide in places, almost 550 meters deep. It's a demanding place, even scary, but the human spirit wants to triumph here too. It's a place where it's certainly worth it to stop, pause and take a pic or two. The sky even did final fireworks before the sun poked its head up and over the horizon. No surprises, but it was to be another warm day.
It's called the race, but it's an adventure. And it's, if you want to see and find out about yourself, it's a journey to get to the start line in the preparation and the homework, but then the day is a day of self-discovery. And that's what's amazing. And that's, you know, that is what brings me back.
This place is breathtakingly beautiful. The canyon, it's rugged, it's wild, it's natural. It's like, it's just you against nature. And that's how the race is going to be, basically.
That's the best part of ultras. I mean, I think anyone can run a road marathon with water tables every 4 kilometers or whatever. This is something else. This is self-supported. There's no one to look after you down there. So that's going to be the challenge.
I'm not one of the guys who's been doing this for a long time, so obviously looking forward to it, but I reckon all the prep that you put into it is probably not really going to prepare you for exactly what you're going to face when you hit the canyon itself, but yeah, very excited.
I think with an ultra, sort of suffering comes as part of the package, so it's not a case of wondering if I'm doing the right thing. I think it's just a case of pushing through and enjoying the scenery, and always remembering that you're very privileged to be in the situation in the first place. So just see it that way and push on.
The sunrise heralded the start of the light race over 65 kilometers. Some light distance. They certainly make them tough in this part of the world. That's the people and their races. Finally, they set off, and the mantra of the ultramarathon runner: push on, keep going, don't stop, never give up. Those are the thoughts that pervade your mind when you tackle this type of distance. It's self-talk, self-abuse, self-confidence, and self-ignorance, all rolled into one. And then sometimes there is, as Alan Silito wrote in his groundbreaking short story, The Loneliness of the Long-Distance Runner, the aloneness. And in this desolate place, being alone here means really being alone. Led by Joseph Kamangue, the top 3 65k runners reached the entrance to the canyon first, but weren't entirely sure about the route. What did Tina say again? Luckily, no harm done. Up front, it was all positive thoughts for Kapapero Thanyemba as he descended into the canyon. The descent is technical and exacting. You have to choose every step and foot plant very carefully, yet keep the tempo up if your intention is to be on the podium. The temperature had not yet warmed up enough for even one layer of clothing to be discarded. As a self-sufficient runner, you need enough sustenance to ensure that your energy levels are constant and that you keep reminding yourself to eat and drink. Ultra trail running is not for the faint-hearted, nor the faint of stomach. Kamungu had already taken his line into the canyon, but Jacobus Diener and Petrus Michael Bronkhorst got themselves into a tangle and were losing time to the leader in the 65k race. One thing was sure, you needed an eyes-down and looking approach. Concentration levels needed to be up, and if you were going through a bad patch, you required some strict self-discipline to keep it together. In this canyon, you cannot afford even a nanosecond of that type of feeling or thinking. 1 foot wrong, and that's the end of your day. All that training, sacrifice, and giving up of the worldly pleasures for months. 1 step and it's all gone. Be careful. That's what you're thinking with every second step.
Hey!
Marius van Zyl in the 100, leading the way down. The one temptation is to try and take in all the frightening beauty of the sprawling piece of land, which seems as if God had forgotten about it after it was made. Not one piece of greenery anywhere. Ulf Andersson taking it the right way, 1 step at a time. The Swede was having a great time. Already very early in the race, the gaps were starting to appear, and for long stretches, runners would not see another soul, a rather intimidating experience in this part of the world. Christinette van der Westhuizen was leading the women's section of the Century race and had a steely look in her eye as she went by. It's not only a test for the quadriceps muscles which keep you upright and perpendicular to the slope, but it's the upper body that does the stabilizing, not to mention the core. Oh, had we only done a few more sit-ups. Namibia has natural beauty and many wonders, but this one probably falls right in the middle there. Majestic, wide open and magnificent, yet unruly and forbidding.
Morning. What are you doing down there?
Some competitors had enough breath and concentration left to have a conversation with our lensman. And the dark was being chased away by the sun in a hurry. And that meant that enemy number 2, the heat, would be encountered soon. Number 1, the cold, was going away. Susanna Karsten was the second woman in the 100k race. In fact, only 2 females were brave enough to tackle the awesome distance. The Fish is the longest interior river in Namibia. It cuts deep into the plateau, which is mostly dry, stony and sparse with a few hardy drought-resistant plants. The river flows intermittently, usually flooding in late summer. Water is sparse too. As a result, so is the human. The Windhoek Lager Fish River Canyon Challenge continues next.
And we'll be back in Namibia for more extreme running after the break. And still to come, we've got shooting action from Peru, after which we catch up with highlights from the final 2 stops of the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Tour.